You can tell that I'm not a native speaker, but right now I speak English not really bad. So in this video, I'm going to share with you what I've done to learn about English and what's my background. How did I start to learn? Hope my method can help you with your English learning journey or whatever language you want to learn. A quick disclaimer. That is, my method does not apply to anyone, and it takes time, so it's not a master a language in 30 days kind of video, and it has its pros and cons that I'll be mentioned later in the video. So let's get started. First, a quick background check. I came from a small town in China, and I spent my early times in small town public schools. So although English is a subject need to learn in school, but small town doesn't really have a really good teacher in a foreign language and doesn't have the environment to learn about foreign language. And if you're not really good at a certain subject, you tend to dislike it. That's what I felt when I was in elementary school. I hated English. And this situation continues until in middle school or to high school. Although English remains a main foreign language to be taught in school, I was struggling with it. I don't even do well in all those tests and exams, let alone speak it. At that time, I couldn't form a real conversation. What I do is just memorizing all the sentences in textbooks like a robot. Everything is just for exams, tests, to get a better grades. But, if you don't like it, your grades won't be better. And I don't expect to have a real life conversations. And honestly, even now, I don't really have a English speaking environment. So at that time, I just hate it. I don't like it. I don't read anything or watch anything in English. I don't see what is useful to learning this language. So I almost ignored this subject at that time. All I know is I can do better in exams. Things take a turn at the end of middle school, I think, where I fall in love with watching Hollywood movies in English. Before this, I just watching movies on television. And the one thing about that is the movies were dubbed into Mandarin. So I wasn't exposed to any English speaking really situation. But I really love watching Hollywood's blockbusters like James Cameron's Terminator, Titanic, and even Marvel movies. They are usually showed on TV, so I need to find them online. And when they are online, they are used in English. It's the original language. So from then on, I started watching English-speaking movies. And that was the first time I experienced English outside of class, outside of a textbook. And most importantly, it's fun. And from that on, my English learning journey truly started. So, tip number 1, and most important one, is to be interested in the subject you learn. As for English, you need to be interested in something that related to English at least, or whatever language you want to learn. You need to find an anchor that you like, you are interested in, and related to that language. Interests are the best teacher. For me, that interest was movies and films and TV series. I watch a lot of them. So go watch a movie if you like the character in that, you remember it's his or hers or there's catchphrase, and that will be your own vocabulary. Be something you could say when you having conversations. And of course, I have some recommendations. First, choose what you watch. You should choose something that are close to your level. If you are just starting out, you don't want to watch films with fast-paced lines and heavy accent. Guy Ritchie films like Snatch or some screwball comedy, they shooting the lines like bullets. My recommendation is you can pick those classic Hollywood movies where they speak with clarity and they're enjoyable to watch. Or like simple cartoons in Disney movies. And then comes an important thing, I think, that plays a huge part in my learning journey. That is find a subtitle. I know most of you may not like subtitles, but you gotta learn. You need to learn a foreign language with movies, you gotta find a subtitle. And you want to find the subtitle with double lines. One line is its meaning translated into your own language. And another line is the English sentences. Okay, for example, in Mandarin, those put it here. You can see it has both the Chinese version and the English sentence in that. In this way, you know its meaning and you know the original sentences. And the second tip is that if you want to learn English through movies, you need to watch the movies with a purpose. Like, I need to find 3 words I don't know before in this movie, or I'll remember a line that contains words I don't know. Believe me, with the help of the story, you will learn those words better because they were in a situation that you can remember it with the situation. I always feel like graphic memories are better than just words. And if you forgot to remember something when you're watching because you were just so immersed into that film, it's fine. Go back to where you think it's the most intriguing part, or go back to where you remember the most climax or someone's having a fight. Go back there. You will find something you don't know there. If you're a beginner, you definitely gonna find something there, and you remember it with the scene and the act. And gradually you will find your listening skills and your vocabulary will increase. But it takes time, and you may think that's not so efficient. But I would say this, that is, when you watch movies, you will have a time guarantee that at least you have an hour or more than 40 minutes you will immerse in an English-speaking environment. The quickest way to learn a language is to live in the environment where everybody speaks this language. But obviously we don't have this chance to have that experience. So movies are the closest way, I think, to getting a situation like that. But one thing with the movie is, just like I said in tip 2, is you easily forgot your purpose. If the movie is really, really good, like you may watch 10 minutes and you just put yourself right in the movie, and you forgot what you're here for. You don't remember anything about learning words. Well, I just want to see what will happen in this character and how the story goes to the end. Well, that's fine. You can, just like I said, you can go back and relearn the stuff, but that's just time consuming. A movie will be like 2 hours, 100 minutes, and you forgot what you came for, you go back, that'll be another like 30 minutes. So it's just one of its downside is it's time consuming. When I first started, I didn't really have a goal actually, so I just spent my time to have some fun without purpose. But when you reach a certain amount of the time you invested in all those English-speaking movies, I still get my progress. My listening is much better. I can speak with sentences. My vocabulary increased. Like I just say this, I will struggle with words I learned in classes. Later on, I was getting all the words that I don't even have to learn. And something just for me, one silly little thing is that when after I watch a movie, I would remember the heroes or the villains' lines, and I will play them with myself like an actor, and I will repeat them over and over again. At that time, I think that's cool because the lines are cool. But now that I think about it, I may look like a complete idiot to others, but it helps. You can use that too if you're not afraid to be considered as an idiot, or you're just learning by yourself. And after you're getting better and better, at some point you can just watch a movie and without a subtitle, or you're just using English subtitles. That's more advanced. You can switch to other kind of media like YouTube videos or podcasts. YouTube videos have its own subtitle thing, although many of them are generated by AI, I think. It won't be 100% accurate, but that's a supportive help. Some YouTubers may speak really fast, and you can use 0.5 speed at first, and okay with that, you can go back to normal speed. Or you can turn to like stand-up comedy if you like. Well, I love to watch stand-up comedies. The density of information, YouTube videos and podcasts and even stand-up comedy is much higher than movies. So you need to concentrate while you are watching them or listen to them. I watched and listened a lot of them. And I love to watching stand-up comedies. Sometimes it will have a surprisingly rich content if you think about it in a learning way. Like in a special performed by George Carlin. By the way, he's one of my favorite performers.
Service, selection, convenience, economy, savings, performance, experience, hospitality, low rates, friendly service, name brands, easy terms, affordable prices, money-back guarantee, free installation, free admission, free appraisal, free alterations, free delivery, free estimates, free home trial.
I do have lots of words to learn, right? If you are just beginning. This choice is more personal, because lots of stand-up comedians will use the F word a lot, and well, that depends on people. Some people don't like them. My point is, you can always find something that you enjoy and you can use them as a tool to learn. So after you reach a certain point, you should always try different media and contents. The point is to expose to English every day for a certain amount of time. That is important, because language is a skill, and a skill will be forgotten if you stop practicing on it. And this practicing in this particular circumstances is listen, watching, and speaking. So how to practice even more? You can try to summarize the video you just watched or the podcast you just listened. It's a really good way to enhance your memory of what you just learned. And tip number 3, do not translate. Do not translate. Talking to yourself using English. Summarizing the videos and podcasts using English. Watching a video, repeat the lines with English. Replay the movie clips in your head in English. You need to make your mind to think with English. That's the way to have a better command in English. That is, think in English. Do not translate. If you translate, you will never be able to think English. You know the meaning of the word in each sentences. You don't need to translate at all. And right now, you may have some improve in your listening and your speaking skills, but there's also one important thing, that is writing. If you just do the watching and the listening, your grammar will suck. I used to just watching and listening, my grammar just sucks. Actually, I don't have a really good commanding grammar right now. And if you don't have a really good commanding grammar, your writing will suck. So it's time to start reading and writing. Of course, you don't need to be like me to wait so long to start reading and writing. But I do think that reading and writing is the most difficult part in English learning journeys, at least for me. You can start with reading, writing in form of short content, like social media posts, and gradually just shifting to longer content, like articles, texts, to books. The thing is, you need to consist on the same principle, that is, find something you like. You like it, you're interested in it. That way you can just keep reading for a long time without getting bored. Reading books that you're already familiar with is an option. That way you already know what's in the book, and you will be much more easy to understand the sentences because you know the story. Like, I love George R. Martin's Song of Ice and Fire. I read it in Chinese. So the first book I ever bought to read is book 5 of Song of Ice and Fire. Here it is. I read it. Actually, I didn't finish it because it's a really big book. But it do helps a lot when you read it. And you can imitate its writing styles and copy some sentences. I shouldn't give too much writing tips because I suck at writing, both Chinese and English. I both suck at them. So now I started writing like newsletters. Try to improve my writing skills. Practice is my final tip. Like what I'm doing now. I don't need to speak English. I can or using my native language to record this video, but I chose to use English. One, because English is the most used language in YouTube platform, and two, it's a way to practice my English. So if you want to get better in listening, listen to a podcast. Start watching YouTube videos. Focus on listening. If you want to speak, just talk. Like me, recording videos, or find someone to practice with you. So if you are an introvert person like me, you can just speak to yourself. You can always find a way to practice. And if you want to improve your writing, read more and write more. That's the only way, I think. It's like working on a muscle. You can't just sit in your house, do nothing, and expecting your muscle will grow. You need to hit the gym, lifting weights, so that way they can grow, right? Practice. So to summarize the whole video, the tips I've given you, start with something you like and link it to whatever language you want to learn. So if you like watching movies, go watch movies in the language you want to learn, or watch YouTube videos in the language you want to learn, using subtitles in both language. Then at the same time start reading and writing just to improve the whole spectrum. And finally, some pros and cons. So pros, you can have fun while you are learning, and through the videos you use to learn English, you can learn so much more other than languages. And most importantly, they are all free. You have a phone, working internet connection, you're off to go. You can learn anywhere you want, whenever you want. Nobody gonna stop you. Nothing can stop you besides your hesitations. You can totally do that. I'm the living proof here. And it's really great to people. You don't have to sign in for a class to get in front of like dozen people. You can just do this by yourself. And let's move on to the cons. Well, firstly, if you're just doing the watching and listening stuff, you will suck at grammar. I suck at grammar. Again, I have to point out that. But I try to improve that through reading and writing. And number two, if you have no idea, you're a completely beginner. Like you have no idea what this language is about. You don't know what it is. You don't know what that U is. I recommend you to start with learning some basic stuff at first, because you just jump into movies that can be confusing because you don't know any words, right? It will take a much longer time for you to understand what they are saying. And why is this word mean this? Because like in 5-word sentences, you don't know all the 5 words. You got to find like other 4 sentences to figure out which is which. It will consume you much more time. So I don't recommend you just jump into that without learning a little bit about this language. And lastly, there's methods more about listening and speaking, little about writing stuff. So if you just want to improve your grades in tests and exams, well, this may not be the way for you. You can certainly do better in listening and maybe reading, but again, this is not designed to help you with your exam. It's just how I learned to speak that like this. It doesn't offer you a way to achieve the grades you want. If you want to achieve better grades, I think it's better just, if you want to just achieve a better grades, I think you need to pay more attention in your classes. And again, this is just my way of reaching this point. It may differ from people to people. It may not suitable for everyone. Everyone has their own unique way of learning. You can give it a try, but finding your own way to learn is the ultimate goal. Finding a way that's suitable for you is the most important. Your method is always a better method. So this will be all. Thank you all for watching, and if you like this kind of video, please subscribe and leave a thumbs up below, or you can comment me about what you want me to make and want to try everything, find my way or niche. I'm just exploring all kinds of videos. I'll see you next time.